everyone. Today I'm going to be showing you the registration system in ClassJuggler and how helpful this feature is if you need to track registrations for your students. The ClassJuggler registration system allows you to track registrations for students, whether seasonal or annual. You can assign fees to the registration preferences to allow for small one-time or annual charges to the family of the student during enrollment. The term registration should not be confused with class enrollment, although registration often occurs just prior to enrolling a student in a class. Let's first take a look at where the registration system is configured. I'll first click on Preferences from the blue main menu, and then in the Billing and Invoicing Preference section, on that purple sidebar menu, I'm going to click on Registration Settings. If you track and manage student registrations at your business, you can turn on the registration system by clicking the Registration System checkbox and then clicking Save. I'm going to go ahead and turn on my registration system by clicking the box next to the registration system. After I click on this box, a second option appears that asks if I want to require registration before a student can be enrolled in a class. I'm going to go ahead and enable mandatory registration as well. And I'm going to save my changes. And that turns the status on. The next step is to set up the registration fees table. I'm going to enter a registration fee of $20 for Student 1. Student 2, I'm going to enter 15. Student 3, I'm going to enter 10. And I'm going to leave the $0 amount for all additional students. I'm then going to save my changes. Now I'm going to show you an example of registering a student. First, I'll go to the Students List Students, and I'll choose a student from the list that does not have a registration indicator in the registration column for my example. And I'm going to choose Peyton Baker. But now that I have my registration settings enabled, I can go ahead and take care of that. In the second section here under Student Information Fields, I have my registration dates. And she is currently not registered. I'm going to go ahead and click on Register this student. And this brings up a pop-up window where I can complete the student registration. Registrations, like classes, have a begin date and an end date. The end date can be set to no end on a registration that you never want to expire. This is great if you only want to register a student once or if you want to manually expire a registration. ClassJuggler will automatically expire your registrations for you once the end date is exceeded and move expired registrations to history, again just like classes. ClassJuggler will automatically set the registration fee according to the registration settings that you set up in Preferences. You can adjust this fee if you wish by simply changing the amount field. You can also use the handy Quick End Dater action links above the End Date field to choose an end date that is 3 months, 6 months, or 1 year from today's date. I'm going to leave the begin date as today's date, and I'm going to put my end date as the end of my school's season, which is 5/31/19. If you are receiving the registration payment at the same time as you register the student, you can click on Register with Payment button. Otherwise, choose the Register No Payment button. ClassJuggler shows me that the registration payment amount due is $15. Peyton has a sister who attends this school, and so Peyton is the second student in the family, and her registration fee is a lesser amount because of this. So I'm going to go ahead and register with the no payment. And so now Peyton has been registered. You can manage a student's existing registration by clicking the Edit Action button by the registration dates. right here. I can click on that. And then if I wanted to change anything, I can change the beginning and ending dates for a registration as well as registration notes. And you can also force expire or delete a registration. Expiring a registration immediately ends the registration and places it into history. Expired registrations are viewable from the student registration report. Deleting a registration permanently removes the registration and does not keep any history of that registration. We'll go ahead and close that. And now we're going to talk about pre-registration. Pre-registration is a feature of the registration system that allows you to set up a registration for a student while they're currently still actively registered. The pre-registration can start the day after the current registration expires. Pre-registration is handy since it allows you to keep a current registration active until it expires while at the same time registering the student for the next upcoming season or session. I'm going to go to my student list again, and we're going to pre-register a student from our list. Beth Hyde's mom wants to go ahead and get Beth pre-registered for next year. So I'm going to click on Beth's name, and then I have her student maintenance page 1 up. So I'm going to go to the registration dates, and you see the pre-registration link right here. I'm going to click on that link, and we get a pop-up window showing the information on the student. The fields and actions for the pre-registration are exactly the same as the ones discussed earlier for registration. The only difference is the default amount ClassJuggler selects for the fee. Since this is a pre-registration, ClassJuggler will only look at other pre-registrations from the same family to calculate the correct fee. Additionally, the begin date of a pre-registration must fall after the end date of the current registration. ClassJuggler will automatically select the begin date as the first day after the end date of the current registration. So I'm going to go ahead and leave the begin date because this is the day after her current registration. And for the end date, I'm going to enter 5/31/2020, and it's giving me an amount of $20. And under my notes, I'm going to just put in that Beth pays in advance every year. And this time I'm going to click on the Register and Make a Payment action button. I'm going to fill this information using cash. And also, under my description, I want to put down that this is a pre-registration. And we're going to save this with no receipt. All right, so now Beth is pre-registered. And you can see in this light gray the pre-registration dates. And you can also go and edit that if you need to. There are also reports and tools for reviewing and managing your student registrations. If we go to Tools on our blue main menu, the very first link up here is the Registration Manager. I'm going to click on that. The Registration Manager tool allows you to easily mass expire your student registrations. To do this, you enter a registration cutoff end date and use the selector to select a group of students you wish to expire their registrations. Once you've selected a cutoff date and student group and click the Select button, the second section is going to display your totals. So I'm going to choose June 1st of 2019. I'm going to leave all student group as all, and then I'm going to click on the Select. And now in our second section, they're letting us know that there are 37 total active student registrations in the student group. And this last section with the expire, if you click on this action, it's going to bring up a confirmation window asking you to confirm your actions before you mass expire your registrations. Next, let's look in Reports from our blue main menu. And we are going to go to Student Reports and Student Registrations. The Student Registration Report displays student information for the selected group of students along with selected registration information for each student. There are 4 different ways to run the Student Registration Report. The first way is finding registered students. The report will display student and registration information for any student who is registered. The second way is to find just pre-registered students. The third way is to pull up a list of students who are not registered. And the fourth way is to pull up historical registrations. This report is going to show all expired registrations for students within a range of dates. I'm going to run this report for all pre-registered students. And I'm going to leave all the other options as they are, and I'm going to click on the Generate Report. And now I can see the results of this report. Pre-registered students, I've got 3 pre-registered students. Similar to the registrations you can create as an administrator, the customer portal can automatically create and bill for registrations of students. While I'm not going to be going over this part of the registration system in today's webinar, you can check out our training videos on our YouTube channel and ClassJuggler Online Help for more information.